Hey everybody, today you're here at Roll-N-Vac and we're going to show you how to flip out your motor today in your unit. So here's your unit, what it should look like. It's sitting on the wheelbarrow and we're going to change it right on the wheelbarrow. And today what we're going to do is we're going to flip out and put a new motor in. So this is what you'll be working with. Just some of the tools you're going to need. You'll want a flathead screwdriver perhaps. We'll talk about the use of that. I got a Phillips head. Preferably, I like power tools myself, so you're going to want a Phillips head. One of the things just to make mention of, it's set for a 9. That's where you want to be. You'll also need a number 3 Phillips. That's a really large one. In one of the applications, you're going to definitely want that. Or you may be able to use this. You probably got this when you bought your Roll-N-Vac, so you can use this if you need to. So these are some of the tools you're going to need though. What's going to happen is when we flip this out, there's several steps to the process. It's not a hard job, but it is somewhat difficult or delicate, let me put it that way. And the reason I say that is because it's a sealed unit and you're going to take it apart, and when you put it back together again, you want it to remain sealed. So while it's not a difficult job, it is delicate. So we want to walk you through the various steps that you need to do and show you some of the, hopefully a couple of tips that'll help you do the job well. So you're going to want to take this black top cover off. There's 4 screws. I've kind of jumped ahead. I only put in 2 so you can see how it comes off quickly. You'll have a filter here. Hey, chances are you've never washed this, so let's do that first. You're going to wash this because you're going to put it back on. It'll extend the life of your new motor, and your Roll-N-Vac will also perform a whole lot better. So definitely throw this in the wash this out when you put it back in. So when you get here, this is where you're sitting. This is called your blue cover. We're going to flip the Roll-N-Vac over, and we're going to begin to disassemble to take this off. This is the next thing we want to do. So here's your unit. You flip it over. One of the things I like to do is, so I've got the cover kind of up on the up underneath the wheelbarrow. Now there are 13 screws you're going to have to take out. I've taken out a bunch of them already just for the sake of our time. Your shield is in. You can do this job by leaving the shield in if you want to. It just so happens to be that your screw gun with an extension will reach in and get this screw right here. There's a screw right here in the corner on each side, and a screw gun will get it. Otherwise, you could use that long Phillips head screwdriver that I showed you. So it will come out. There should be a little washer on there. You want to make sure the rubber part or the dark part is going to stay right on the bottom. So you're going to pull all these out. I'd already unscrewed that shield, so we can just do that, get that out of the way. So you're going to have 13 screws in total. I'm going to pull them all out of there. I'm going to set this to the side. And now you're ready to flip your unit back over. So you're taking your screws out. Got my unit flipped back over on the wheelbarrow. So the blue cover is going to come right up. So you can just grab it here. Now it's sealed pretty tight. I mean, it should. There you go. It's kind of sticking, and that's good because you want that. You're going to pull it up. Don't yank it up because obviously you got all these wires underneath here. Okay? So we got 3 wires we want to disconnect. I got our ground, I got the white, I got the gray. So it's hard to get the gray over here, but it's gray to the right, white to the left, and of course you got your ground wire. So this is a 5/16 hex. You can use a flathead screwdriver. This is obviously a lot easier. Pull that out. You don't want to lose this. So I'm just going to stick that in my pocket for now. And then you're going to pull these off. If you want, you might have a little flathead screwdriver to help you out. You don't want to pull out the contacts. You may not be able to see well, but you can get on there and it'll come up. So just kind of wiggle them a little bit. Be firm, but don't yank too hard. So there it comes up. Then you can set that to the side. Actually, I usually stick it right through the hole there, so I can lay there. There's a gasket right here. Try not to lose that. So you can set that over here. We don't want to forget to put that back on. Here's your motor. You've disconnected everything. This here is our exhaust port. This is probably one of the hardest parts of the job, if you want to say most complicated in terms of being a pain. You can use your screwdriver, or if you've got your 5/16, loosen that up. Now what you want to do is you're going to have to pull this port out, and they don't always like to come out. I like to have a screwdriver, and there's a little bit of, you can get your screwdriver in here and push on it like this, or you can get in here and work it and start to spin it like so. Mine's coming pretty quick. Sweet. Don't drop your clamp down in the exhaust port. There it is. There it is. So you definitely want to, you don't want to lose that. Don't want to break that. So now we're at the point where you got 3 screws that are holding your motor in. Now, everything we use here at Roll-N-Vac is, all the screws are stainless steel, so they're non-magnetic. Secondly, our inserts are brass, so nothing rusts. One of the drawbacks, though, if you want to call it that, is that brass strips very easily, so you want to be cautious. That's why I recommend the number 3 Phillips head. So we're going to take that off because this is a large one. This is where you need it. So nothing is magnetic, so you can't pull it out, which is unfortunate, but that's the way it is. There we go. Then you can reach here and you can just kind of massage it up. It should be sitting real tight down in that gasket. And there's our old motor. Get this out of here. So here's the old motor. Let me just show you. We flip it out with a new motor. Here is the gasket down in here. Here's the new motor right here. So this is the gasket you will already have in your unit right here. Alright, and it sits here just like this. So our gasket is already in here. Pull it up for you. You don't want to lose that, or your machine isn't going to work right when you put it back together again. So you can push that back down in, or you could just put it on here. You're going to line up your exhaust port. You're going to drop this down in. So you got these 3 holes, and you're just going to rock it back and forth, massage it in there, try to set it, and try to see how those holes line up. Now remember, it's brass inserts, so they do strip easily. So you want to be cautious. It's not, you know, it'll work. Don't worry about it. So you got your number 3 Phillips, and just start it real gently. You want to get everything lined up before you torque anything down. And it'll start to move. So you will want to torque it. Number 9, if you're using power on your, there, that's perfect. So we can see, there, it'll line up now. There, it's pulling. So after you get them to go in, they started well. Torque them up. We got number 9 on our setting. And make sure everything torques down good, because you want to get a good seal. You can see the unit kind of move. There we go. We're good. Take your exhaust port again. Get your hose, put your clamp on first, and you just push this through. Kind of rotate it, turn it. It'll usually go right on there for you. Pop that on there real good. 5/16. Snug that up. So you're almost there. You're going to have your little rubber gasket, which you do not want to forget. Otherwise, you'll be taking it apart to put it back on. So that kind of helps protect those blades. You got your gasket. You're going to take your blue cover right here. Now I got to find out where I put the ground nut. Here we go. So tried a lot of different ways to do this. The ground nut is reseated down here in the motor bay. So the guy who taught me how to build these, John, he showed me this way, and I haven't found a better way yet. So I like to grab it several inches back, and you're going to just kind of guide it I'm going to kind of guide it down in here. Then I take my gun. And this is one of those delicate things. There you go. Remember, white goes to the left. It's the furthest one away. It's harder to reach it with the gray, so we're going to go white to the left. Make sure you're on there good. There we go. You want a good fit. I mean, you don't want it to... There we go. That's nice. So that's what you're going to have. Now, so you want to make sure you got all these wires. We're going to push all this down in here. You don't want to impede the blue cover going back on because we want a nice solid fit. We want to be sealed. Make sure that your gasket isn't pinched. Sometimes that can happen. And what we're going to do now is we're going to flip the machine. So you flip your Roll-N-Vac. Sometimes the blue cover will start to slide off, so I like to kind of balance it there on the top of the Roll-N-Vac, the wheelbarrow. Now I've got my number 3 Phillips in, so I take that out. Put your standard back in. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go around and we're going to start to put this back together again. There isn't a sequence necessarily, but you do want to move around, and you're going to want to make sure that everything gets torqued, so you're going to want to go back and forth as you go. Number 9 again, you don't want to strip anything. Then you have a problem. So it's not a hard project, not a hard job, but you do want to make sure that you take your time, be patient, and it'll all go together for you. And then these little tight spots, you got a good extension, you should have no problem getting in. So you just go around, put the rest of your screws in. We won't do that here. Flip your machine over. Put your shield back on if you got your shield. And all you got left is your little cover here. Don't forget your filter. You should have 4 screws. Oops. Put that on there. Screw those in, and you're done. You put in a new motor for your Roll-N-Vac. So if you got any questions, definitely email us, let us know, and we'll be able to help you out. Have a great day.